Yo, what is going on, guys? It's Cybertron Laser here, and today I'm going to be going over the full beginner's tutorial. If you're starting out with Overwatch 2, maybe you're returning from Overwatch 1, maybe you've never played Overwatch before. So this is like the ultimate guide for beginners, and I'm going to try making this as quick as I can. So just to get started here, there like first we should explain the objective of the game, right? So the objective of the game here is to capture a certain point. So it's like a point based thing. So if you're maybe coming from Valorant, CS:GO maybe, so you know how like you have like a bomb which you can plant, and then the defenders have to defuse that bomb. So over here they don't have like a search and defuse thing like search and destroyed like in CS:GO or Valorant. They have different like point-based game modes. So they did have Assault in Overwatch 1. They removed it because it was like a horrible experience. So basically in competitive and quick play, all you're going to be seeing is like the one selected. So Control, Escort, Hybrid, and Push. These are like the four main game modes in Overwatch 2. So let's go explain them one by one. So in Control, you have maps such as Busan, Ilios, Lijiang Tower, Nepal, and Oasis. So these maps, it's completely symmetrical from one side to the other. So attackers, defenders, same exact like symmetrical design. There's a point in the middle, and then both of them have to fight over that one point to control. So that is the objective of control maps. So all of these maps, like you'll just get the hang of like overplaying over time. Just keep playing, keep grinding. I know Overwatch 2 has a tutorial now, which is not given to Overwatch 1 players. I don't know. But yeah, so you will like get the hang of this. So escort maps are again Circuit Royale, Dorado, Havana, Junkertown, Rialto, Route 66, and Gibraltar. So these maps, they start out with something that the community likes to call the payload. I'm not sure if that's the actual name for it, just payload, right? So payload, and then you have you have to push the payload to the defender spawn, basically. So the spawns do change over time. So there's checkpoints on these maps. Go like watch gameplay, like or go play the game actually, just you'll like understand it. So there's checkpoints on the map which are given at the top of your screen, and you have to push the payload to those checkpoints. Every time you get to that checkpoint, your spawn changes. So right there, the first point is very attacker sided because the attacker spawn is right next to the payload, and the defender spawn's like on the other side of the map. However, as the point gets closer and closer to the defender side, it gets more defender sided. So that's basically how escort works. You have to push the payload by staying on it to the map. Oh, and by the way, I should say control. Once you capture control point, you do not need to like stay on it to like keep capturing. It just takes percent until it gets to 100%. And then there is what's it called? And if the attackers get on it, it still takes for you until they fully capture it. So that's control and escort. So hybrid is a mix of, let's say, control and escort because they removed assault. It's really a mixture of assault and escort. So so basically with hybrid, the attackers have to capture a point, which then moves like a car, like the payload, out of the thing, and then the payload moves to the defender spawn. So it's basically like a mix of control and escort, like I said before. It as long as you capture the first point, then you can move the cart to the throughout the map and like just win the game that way. And then for push is the Overwatch 2's newest game mode. This is a bit more complex. Everyone's still learning this, including myself. But your spawns change like periodically. These are also symmetrical maps, just like control. And basically the robot in the middle moves from one side to the other, from one side to the other. Whoever's like on the robot basically like gets to control the robot. And the point is to like push the robot to the other side. So it's basically like a giant, like, you know, shooter tug of war. Like, if you can think about it like that. That's the easiest way to, like, explain it. Oh, and by the way, I want to say the spawns do not change in control. That it's just symmetrical. The spawns, however, do change in all the other game modes. Escort, hybrid, and push. So, to, like, make it a bit fairer for both sides. Or, unfair, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. Because, in hybrid and escort, the defenders are very at an advantage at the end, but the attackers are very at the advantage at the beginning. So that's basically like explaining maps and objective of the game. They're four game modes. Two of them are very similar, being hybrid and escort. Control is just like, like capture the point and then just like, make sure to like have that point captured. And push is like tug of war but in Overwatch. So Eichenwald, for example, is an hybrid map, which is the mixture of escort and control, which is like what you would like. It's basically assault and control, but I know people don't know what assault is anymore. So assault and escort, sorry, yeah. But assault was like, here, I'll just give like a history lesson. So assault was also known as 2CP. You had to capture two objectives, so it's like two capture points. But it got like really defender sided, like so defender sided at the end that like everyone hated it. So that's basically why they removed that and replaced it for push. But anyway, so now that we have the objective out of the way, let's go over who you should be playing and like what everyone does and like how to get started with Overwatch 2. So in Overwatch 2 you have lots of different heroes, like lots of different heroes. So I think there's 36 now. Yeah, so anyway, you have like heroes that are harder than others, like Genji, and then you have heroes that are easier than others, like Reaper or Moira. So who do I actually recommend you play? I recommend that you play the easier one starting out, but you can honestly like play whoever, just like because you will eventually like get mastery over the character anyway. But it does help if you know like what you're doing. So with characters like Ashe, Cassidy, Reaper, Soldier, these characters are pretty straightforward and you can focus more on the macro stuff instead of the micro stuff. With Genji, you have Genji, Tracer, these are like mascot characters, right? Unfortunately, they're like the harder characters as well. You have to focus on a lot of micro stuff as well as like macro, which is not bad, but like it really overwhelms beginners. So when I say macro and micro, I mean like macro is like the overall like surrounding, like awareness, positioning, stuff like that. Micro is like also what your character does individually, which I guess also like which is why it's called micro. It's like what you're doing, so you have to focus on that as well. Your mechanics need to be on point, stuff like that, right? So that's why like if you don't know how to like animation cancel with Tracer, or like how to aim with Tracer, like don't have good cooldown management, you're essentially throwing. But like if you're like are on Soldier, you just shoot a gun, right? Place down your heal station when you're low, and that's really it. Like that's like your entire kit. So it allows you to focus on how the game actually works instead of like, oh no, my character can do this. What? Like yeah. So that's basically what I mean when I say macro and micro. So I will go over like the beginner characters and what they do. So let's start off with the role I recommend players to play, DPS. So I recommend like a few characters depending on how well you can aim or not. So if you come from a shooter background already, Ashe, Cassidy, Soldier, and Reaper are going to be your picks because most games are hit scan and they're not projectile. So Ashe, Reaper, Cass, and Soldier. So three of these are hits. I mean, all of these are hit scan, but Reaper has shotguns instead. So let's start with like the number one easy character, Reaper. So basically, Reaper has a teleport, which I just did there, and he has shotguns. So these shotguns do a lot of damage, like as you can see, one shot to the head, right? More than half to the body, right? If you can aim, then this is like really good. So once you get the hang of like the shotgun mechanics, you can do stuff like this, where like you maybe teleport to high ground, and then you can like maybe kill someone over there, or like maybe drop down on someone, such as this, right? And then if you're in trouble, like oh, you're getting shot, you have a shift thing, which literally allows you to escape for free. You can cancel the shift by pressing left click at any time. I'll demonstrate again. So I can cancel it. So what you want to do with Reaper is never ever use this to engage. What you see like a lot of like lower rank Reapers is do something like this. You just they like engage and then press 2. This is like impressive, yeah. Like maybe you get kills that way, but most of the time you're gonna end up dying. However, what you can do is like, oh yeah, I'm fighting this, I'm fighting. Like, oh no, I'm getting shot at, they're looking at me, let's fade away. And then go behind cover, right? Wait for heals, wait for backup, stuff like that. So this is how you play Reaper. That's like your mini game plan. Ashe, she's a sniper. Like, well, she's not a sniper because that's like Widow and Hanzo, but she's a pretty good sniper. Like more than half of the head for most 200 HP targets. But this is not who I recommend to play. Like if you can't aim, because her gun is kind of hard to aim, I would say. Not like Widowmaker hard, but it is kind of hard. And then her shift, she can propel herself up. If you like look down, press it, you move up, you know? So it's like that. It can also boot people out. It's like in here. Let me see if I can go up. Yep, like that. So, you know, it just creates a knockback effect. And her E is her dynamite. So this dynamite, let me do it over here. It can explode like that, right? And it takes on both of them. Like as you can see, both of them are taking damage. It's a very strong ability. And you can also manually detonate it like that. So you don't actually have to wait for all of it to explode. Her ult is Bob. So that is like a turret basically. It like focuses whoever it sees in its LOS. And it is a lot stronger than you think because it can touch the point for you. And yeah, it can be destroyed by enemy, but it's a pretty strong ult. It's pretty good, especially in lower elo. The other part I want to say with Ashe is her weapon. As you can see, like I might have been doing that the whole time. You can shoot like normally, which does decent damage, I'd say. You know, like not that much to be honest. Like, you know, like what is that, like 40-ish, right? But what you really want to do is like be able to like land these shots, which like really does a lot of damage there.
Do something.
Yeah, so that's like the mini game plan with Ashe. You always want to be like on high ground with like, it is actually good for every character, but like specifically Ashe, it's like really good to be on high ground because you can just have like free reign on everyone basically. You can also do that, like it goes like you don't actually have to be looking at them to like dynamite. You can dynamite around corners, very effective strategy. Next character, Cass.
Someone needs to fill this.
Oh right, and I forgot to say, all of these characters have damage drop off. That I'm saying. So Ashe, 3 headshots from here. However, from here, 3 shots. Not even 2 headshots, like 2 shots, pretty sure. But yeah, so damage drop off for sure. But Cass also has damage drop off. Like that's almost your whole. So Cass, he can he did change a bit from Overwatch 1. So what now his E is a sticky grenade. It's basically like Tracer ult, except like on an ability and like plus damage. So basically with Cass, you kind of want to be like frontlining-ish. You're just like you want to be close to them and like be able to aim like with this revolver. His shift, he's able to reload all of his guns. So if you can see, his reload takes a while, right? Like you can't shoot anymore. But with his shift, it reloads your gun like really automatically, and you also like get some movement this way. So it's really useful ability. You can miss the E like I did there, but it does like kind of track them.
It's a bone or
McCree's right click is called Fan the Hammer, which is like this. So it does 0 headshot damage, but it does like all of his body shot damage. So you can actually end up killing someone with like if you have your whole mag. There's also some like RNG involved. It's not like fully accurate, but like it's like closest thing he has to like, you know, automatic weapon, because otherwise he has to like tap the gun every time. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can like hold down like there, but you know, it's like better if you like tap the gun. Like what many people end up doing is something like this. So you can empty your whole mag that way and like get a lot of damage. It's really good for like breaking shields or you know, like focusing down like a beefier target like Winston or Roadhog. So yeah, his ult is called High Noon. It's pretty bad ult. Don't use this a lot. Because, you know, he has to stand still to like use it, and standing still in this game is never a good thing because there's no counter strafing. Like you can like move fully and like still be accurate, like I'm doing here. You see, like I'm not like counter strafing or anything. Like you can be fully accurate while moving in this game. So yeah, you want to always like be crouching, and stuff. So like you saw there, that's like his E, which I already explained. So now for like the last damage character, I recommend Soldier. So Soldier, he's like your Call of Duty character. He has a sprint, which is left shift, no cooldown or anything, right? He has a rifle, really satisfying to shoot, especially in Overwatch 2 with like the new gunshots. It has recoil, not RNG anymore. Like for if you're returning from Overwatch 1, it actually is like a recoil now. So it's like a lot more skillful. It's very small recoil, like if you're coming from like CS:GO or Valorant. But there is some recoil. So with Soldier, the goal is to like, you know, get the high ground and basically do what I just did there. Just keep shooting, and if you're taking damage like that, you have your E, which heals everyone in this area. Like heals all of your teammates in this area, not enemy team, of course. But it heals all your teammates in that area. Like you can see, I'm 200 HP again. Your Helix rocket is like a burst kind of thing. It's projectile, not hit scan. It's projectile. So you know what you can do is like throw it and then like instantly shoot, and like that. And like, you know, by the time they realize, oh, they're being shot, the thing will hit them. So, you know, you can be something like, you saw that? Like, you know. And this is like just useful for like, you know, finishing like low HP targets. I missed there. It's a bit of a skill shot, but like the hitbox for this is very big, so you can kind of just like, you know, use it. It's pretty useful. And then his ult is just aimbot, so it gives you aimbot temporarily. Like you don't have to aim. Like you can see, like I'm not aiming at him, and it's still like hitting. In Overwatch 2, I'm not sure if this was in Overwatch 1. It does do headshot damage. Like if you actually aim for the head, then it does do headshot damage. So try aiming with it regardless. But like if you can't, you can just hold down left click and it'll like aim for you. So again, let's recap. Ashe, Cass, and Soldier hit scans. They teach you how to aim, and they're not that hard to use. They do a lot of like, it's like immediate value, just like picking them. Reaper, he's more of like a flanker hero. He kind of wants to be in your back line, destroying everyone, and then use a shift to get out. And this is if you like can't aim that well, because his shotgun spread is like pretty big. So you can like, so if you're like a bit closer to them, you can like delete them basically, right? Here, I'll give one more hero, which I recommend beginners to try. It is, I would honestly say Junkrat, because Pharah does require some micro stuff. Junkrat, he's like a kind of spam character. It does 120 damage regardless of like headshot, and then it also bounces like that, so you don't actually have to be like on them. Obviously should try, but yeah. So his left shift is like concussion mine, which knocks back you and the enemies. You saw that? So it knocks back you and the enemies. And then his trap is like basically they're trapped there if they're there, right? Like if they walk through. Another thing you can do with Junkrat, this like kind of hard, not really. It's to double mine like that. So you can use both your mines. To like, you know, really get on someone. What you want to be doing with Junkrat though is like, you know, just standing on high ground and just spamming. You know, like spam chokes like that, you know. Like here, see? Like I'm just spamming this. And it's going to like do a lot of damage or like either kill them. This is good for shield breaks, stuff like that. So his ultimate is this Riptire. Like if you hold space, it can go through wall. Basically you can kill multiple people. You can kill the whole team like that. Yeah, so that's basically Junkrat. And then, okay, so for healer category, support category, I recommend you play Moira, Mercy, or Bap. I'll go over their abilities too. Moira's right click, it's like auto tracking, like, you know, damage thing. You don't have to aim that well, right? Just auto tracks. Like I'm trying to show the range for like it auto tracks. Not really like aiming that well. You can like just hold down right click. For left shift, it's like a fade thing, just like Reaper, except it's like instant, like it's shorter than Reaper, I think. So yeah, but you can still travel like far distances with it. So and then your orb, it either does damage or healing, depending on like what you need. So she is a healer after all. So here, like it heals them. You see, like my teammate's bars got full again. Her left click is a heal. It's healing over time, if not instant. But yeah, so her healing is tied to this bar that like you see over here, right? And if the bar is out, she can't heal. She can't heal anymore. So what you can do is like damage again, and the bar gets full. And then her damage orb, it's just like normal. It bounces off stuff and it does damage, slows down when it's near someone, so it can do more damage. But yeah, so you always want to like bounce your orb off stuff. Like that was a bad orb, I should have bounced it off this, and then it would have bounced back here, heal more. Yeah, so her ult, there's a pro tip by the way. Her ult is you always like orb before and like press so just like beam, which heals and does damage. So it heals these people and does damage to that people, right? You saw that? So yeah. So that's basically your ult. Pretty easy character. Not much like micro stuff. The only micro stuff I can see is, you know, that like ult thing where you you do this and then you ult. And the other thing is if you're like running out of heal, the only micro thing she has is like say you're running out of heal, you can mash right click and it'll like get the thing faster. It'll do less damage of course, but it'll like get the healing faster. Like I'll get the healing faster than just doing this, I'm pretty sure. Like yeah, so that's the only micro stuff with Moira really. So this allows you to like actually get an understanding of the game. With Mercy, she does require like a lot of micro stuff, but she isn't too bad. So basically, she doesn't really do any damage. She has like this pistol, which you can pull out during the ult. But yeah, so she can fly to teammates. She can only do one healing at a time, unlike Moira, which can heal multiple people. And yeah, so she just like heals, and she can damage boost. Here, like look. Yeah, so he does around like half, but with this damage boost, like he'll kill in less shots. He'll kill in less shots, like with the damage boost. So her other ability, I'll wait for these guys to die. Of course, you can like fly to people. Yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to super jump in Overwatch 2. Oh, you're right. So if you hold crouch while like super jumping, right? This is called super jumping. You'll like fly into the air if you like press crouch during your guardian angel.
Let me tend to that.
Oh yeah. When this guy dies, you can revive someone. There's only one person. I recommend doing it near a corner. Yeah, you can rest someone. Like just bring them back. Instead of them waiting like 12 seconds to respawn. Her ult is basically like it heals multiple people now, so it heals both of them, like as you can see, and it can also damage boost multiple people. And she gets free movement, so like she can like fly into the air now. You can also pull out and the infinite ammo during your ult, so that's called Battle Mercy. But yeah, that's basically how you play Mercy. Not that hard. Good for no aim people. That is if you want to play support, but you can aim. He has like a FAMAS type thing where it's burst. It does a lot of damage, as you can see. I just like one shot a tracer. Right there. Really satisfying, kind of like Soldier, but like healer, because he can actually heal.
You are completely healed. Can't save them all.
And this is burst healing, so it does like heal, and it's also swoosh. So like, you can see I'm not aiming either at him or at him. I'm aiming somewhere in the middle, and it's healing both of them because it's like a splash thing, splash radius. So that's Baptiste. You can't heal yourself by doing this though. Like if I take damage, I can't heal myself. Like, you know, it doesn't actually heal me. However, with the Overwatch 2 passives, you automatically heal yourself if you're a healer. If you're out of combat. Your immortality field saves them from dying. So as you can see, they're being shot, right? But their HP bar isn't going down because the immortality field. So this is a very strong ability, very cool ability. Your shift heals yourself and it heals your allies. It's mainly used for healing yourself though, because it barely heals your allies. It heals yourself a lot. So yeah, that's who I recommend. Like if you can aim. You don't really need to aim a lot for the healing because like splash radius, but you do kind of need to aim. A good Baptiste, instead of just doing this the whole time, he'll balance like, oh, okay, I'm damaging, and like I'm healing. You get the micro stuff with Bap is kind of good. Like he has exo boots, his passive. You hold crouch, and then you can jump, and it like jumps high. So this is normal jump, this is exo jump. So yeah, I don't recommend spamming this move because you will get headshot. It's really predictable arc. But yeah, so his ultimate, it's called Amplification Matrix. Really fun thing to use. So as you can see, like if I'm aiming for head, it takes like 2 clips, right? That's actually not a good example. I think I'll 2 clip anyway. So okay, 3 clips if I'm aiming for body, right? However, with this, you can see it just like. It actually 1 clip to the head, you see? So it's very strong. Anyone shooting through this window, like anyone of your allies, he will get like a lot of damage boost. This also applies to healing. Let me see if I can get it real quick.
Triple kill.
So fatal. You don't look so good.
Alright, so this also applies to healing. Like friendly healing, so you know. Look at that. Look at that. Look how much healing that is. That's absolutely insane. So you can definitely use window to like coordinate with your team, but typically, you can just use it by yourself and you'll be fine because it's just really strong ult for yourself. But you know, if you have like a soldier maybe like ulting, which I already showed you at the beginning, aimbot, you know, aimbot through this window, it's really good. The community calls it window. So those are who I recommend for healer. I recommend you stay away from the tank category until like you're more accustomed to how the game works, the macro stuff. But if you really want to play tank, then I recommend Hog, which is basically Reaper but on tank. So he has a shotgun. He has a hook. So he can one shot from a certain range with his right click. His right click is like that. His left click is like this. So if you're close up, you want to left click. if you're far away, 10 meters, I think. Yeah, 10 meters to be exact. A bit more than 10. You can one shot with the rifle. It's very satisfying. However, that's not what you want to be doing most of the part. You want to be close up to them and like, you know, do that. But the actual game plan is to land the hooks. So hook, and then do that combo. So you can hook someone and then shoot. It brings them close to you, and then bam. So hook, bring them close, bam. Right? But yeah, so you can also like move like, you know, around while you're hooking, so you don't have to like look at them after it's latched on. The hook combo is going to be hook, shoot, melee, because that maximizes your damage in case like sometimes like your aim is a bit off, not exactly at their head, or your shotgun spreads like weird. So you can hook and like melee at the end, like cancel with the melee, like shoot melee, shoot melee, shoot melee, right? And it'll do that. So your E is called healing. It just basically gives you 300 HP. Like I'll take some damage. Alright. It basically heals me. It heals me back up. So he's a pretty selfish tank. Like, you know, he just goes for picks like that. Landing hooks is going to be like your main skill thing. Not that hard to land, not super hard. But yeah, you can also do something like this. Yeah, so your ult is basically like another thing. You press left click during it, it shreds people and boops heal back. Yeah. So that's basically how you play Hog. Your hook does have a range. I think it's like around 20 meters. Yeah, so that's what I recommend on tank if you really want to play tank. The other person I recommend on tank is going to be Zarya or Orisa. Orisa in Overwatch 2. Everyone's still trying to learn how to play her. So she can shred people. Like, it is projectile, so you know, I'd shoot and then it does damage a bit later. So you have to like lead your shots. So like leading my shots right there. Right, lead your shots a bit. But yeah, so once your gun is like infinite ammo until it's overcharged, where now you have to like reload. But so basically you never want it to be overcharged. You're just like do this, right? Always have ammo. Your javelin throw is like a boop. Pretty sure. So it does do a lot of damage. It's not a. I think it is a boop. Let me check. Because again, this is like the reverse of reaver. Yeah, it is a boop. See, it was just like hitting the railing there, so he didn't fall off the map. And then your E is going to be like you know, it basically knocks them back while sucking in all the damage that you take. So and your shift, it basically makes it you take less damage and gives you some extra health. So here, you see that? Like it didn't. Like none of those bullets went through me. Yeah, the javelin is a skill throw. But yeah, it also knocks people back, so you can like do stuff like that. And let me demonstrate the shift real quick. So you can see it makes me take less damage. And also the biggest part is it prevents knockback. So you know, if you got lifted into like a Sigma ult, then you would fall back down without taking any damage. You can't be frozen, stunned, or anything. So it's very strong. It looks like she's going faster. I don't think she really is. She only goes faster during this. So her, that's her ult. It sucks in people towards her, and then she puts down her javelin, and boom, they're all killed. So it's pretty fun character. But yeah, so that's what I recommend if you're like starting out. The last person is going to not Wrecking Ball. Please do not play Wrecking Ball if you're starting out. Very, very hard character. Lots of micro stuff that you can learn. As you can see, she does very, very little damage. Until you get charged. So she has 2 bubbles.
Protecting you.
So as you can see, like my thing went up, right? Now it's going to take a while, but as you can already see, there's like a bit more damage.
Your rest is not enough.
It's really hard to demonstrate in the training range, but once you're like in an actual match, it's very, very, very easy to see how much damage you can actually do. So basically, you have two bubbles. One, you can bubble either both teammates,
Draw their fire.
or you can bubble yourself and one teammate, or you can bubble yourself twice. Who knows? So that's like the tanking she does. That bubble absorbs damage, cleans like status effects like anti and stuff. Pretty sure. So yeah, and like that basically protects your teammates. And then once your teammates are like protected, right, and the bubble dies, you gain energy up to 40 energy. Once you have 40 energy, you immediately start doing like a lot more damage. A very, very fun character. You can get up to 100% energy. Once you're at 100% energy, you're doing like literally like beaming. Like, you know, you only have to be there on like here, look, I'm on this guy for like 5 seconds, right? You only have to be there on like 1.5 seconds and it'll like damage, like kill them. And like these barely do anything, right? Right? 2 of these will kill them at like 100%. So very, very strong roll. Her Graviton Surge is like this. So it sucks them in, right? They can't escape. And it's very powerful if comboed with like another ult, like Hanzo Dragon, Genji Blade, stuff like that. So it's pretty strong. And just so I can show you, right, you can bubble both of them in Overwatch 2. Yeah, you have 2 of them. So basically, that's who I recommend. Who do I recommend avoiding? Avoid every one of these tanks that I did not like show you. Avoid Ana and Kiriko. Avoid Tracer, Genji, Echo. Echo especially because you have to like know how to play every hero to play Echo because her ult actually lets you copy any hero on the battlefield. So I recommend avoiding Sombra for now. Avoid Sim, avoid Sojourn, hard to aim with, very hard to aim. Widowmaker, I mean, I guess if you're like good at aiming, then try. Yeah, again, like avoid the tank role in general until you're like good. But yes, that's kind of like my beginner's guide on who to play. Let me know if you guys want like more stuff. I know like there isn't really like that much beginner tutorials out there. Well, I guess there are. Just like not like who to play actually, and like what each of the characters do. So definitely drop a like maybe. I'll do more parts like, you know, eventually. Yeah, so see you guys later. Bye. Cybertron Laser out.